What's going on, team? Week 5 is wrapping up, which means I got 5 questions for you to answer. Let's get into it.
I got. Winning has always been in his DNA.
Loyalty got royalty inside my DNA. Cocaine quarter piece got war and peace inside my DNA.
So I found this out today, and I'm going to pose it to you. Did you know that the win over the Seahawks was Baker Mayfield's first ever win without Mike Evans? In Baker's entire tenure as the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have either lost or won with Mike Evans on the team. Can you imagine what Baker and Emeka Egbuka are going to be able to do once the greatest Buccaneer of all time, future Hall of Famer Mike Evans, comes back into the fold? Once Chris Godwin gets right? Once Jalen McMillan comes back? This is all done without Bucky Irving. Once Bucky Irving's good to go, this is going to be a very potent offense. Baker Mayfield has the clutch gene. He only had, 4 incompletions all day against the Seahawks, and the Seahawks defense is good. Devin Witherspoon, Reek Woolen, they are good. Him and Emeka are just on another level. 7 for 7, 163 yards, and a touchdown. He averaged 23 yards a catch. Do you know how insane that is? To have a 100% catch rate to someone you throw to, and their average catch percentage is a quarter of a football field? That's insanity. Emeka Egbuka is running away with Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Baker Mayfield is proving why he needs to be the forerunner and the first up on the list when you talk about MVP considerations. But that's also going to lead into my next question, because as I was doing my little stat research, watching my game tape, there's something and someone that we are sleeping on. Question number 2 I have for you. Why are we all sleeping on Matt Stafford? Matt Stafford is lighting the league on fire, and no one's saying anything about it. Hold on, let me pull his stats up real quick. Matt Stafford, they played on Thursday in the nail-biter loss against the Niners. He leads the league with 1,500 yards, second in touchdowns with 11, has only thrown 2 interceptions. The next quarterback near him is Dak Prescott with 1,350. So unless Pat Mahomes throws for 700 yards tonight, Matt Stafford is going to retain the league as top of the leaderboard when it comes to stats. He's going to give Baker Mayfield a run for his money because guess what? Matt Stafford has his own Puka Nacua, who's got a year or 2 under his belt now, and he's also got Devontae Adams, all right? As much as I want bro, I named my son after Baker Mayfield, okay? As much as I want him to win MVP, we need to start looking at Matt Stafford. Just because he's old doesn't mean he still can't sling it. He's leading the league for a reason. Sean McVay and Matt Stafford, they've just gotten better since the Super Bowl. I don't know what it is, but somehow they're gelling even more. So the reason why I asked the Tampa Bay question first and the Rams Matt Stafford question second is this. In Week 12, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to Los Angeles to play the Rams on Sunday Night Football. Everyone, go get your big red markers out and circle that on your calendar. That is football that you cannot miss. That game is probably going to decide who maintains the lead of the MVP race, barring any significant drop-offs. Because Josh Allen was in it for a minute, but I think his performance against the Patriots last night knocked him down to tier. Right now, it's Baker, Matt Stafford, and maybe Dak Prescott. All depends on who you ask. And then there's a tier below them. Baker Mayfield, Matt Stafford, these are guys you need to be watching. If you didn't watch the Emeka Egbuka tape against the Seahawks, just go watch the whole game, because another person that did great, JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba and Emeka Egbuka were just trading shots, word for word, bar for bar. The only reason I got Emeka higher than Jackson Smith-Njigba is Emeka went 7 for 7, JSN went 8 for 9, but they both were crazy productive. Sam Darnold is looking like he has a career resurgence ahead of him. He did great in Minnesota, doing great in Seattle. I really like what they got going up there with the Seahawks. I normally used to hate the Seahawks. Seattle's absolutely going to be causing problems for everyone they play in the NFC all the way into the playoffs. Don't be surprised if they get to divisional round, maybe even conference championship, depending on if their defense and their offense can stay healthy. Let's get on to the third question, and it's honestly one I wish I wasn't asking. When are the Cardinals going to get out of their own way? There was one point in the game where the Cardinals should have been up 28-3, but Amari DeMercado, off of a 70-yard run, dropped the ball 1 inch short of the goal line, and they got knocked out the back for a touchback. Unacceptable. That is unacceptable, fundamental rules that you are forgetting to do, and we just can't have that in a professional sports organization. Now, there are two options for Rich Gannon. You can either cut him, send a message that way, but they don't have anyone to replace him. Michael Carter can't carry the whole load of that offense. Kyler Murray is going to get killed if he has to run anymore. If you can't find someone to replace him, you're going to have to demand accountability another way. And I'm actually going to show y'all, in the military, we have ways of enforcing accountability, okay? So listen, accountability is incredibly important in everything you do, be it football, be it my career field, be it freaking McDonald's. You have to be accountable for your actions. And as a leader, you have to be responsible and be willing to stand up when your subordinates mess up. Rich Gannon, even though he didn't drop the ball on the goal line, even though he didn't make his DB drop the interception, knock it back into the end zone and get returned for a freaking touchdown, you still have to stand there and face the music when your players, when your soldiers, when your employees mess up. And I'm just going to show y'all some military examples. Here's a private who lost his ID card, so they made him wear a giant one on a piece of 550 cord around his neck. That's not even the worst one. Here's one the size of a military-grade duffel bag for snafu. He had to carry that everywhere he went, rain or shine, until he realized, hey, maybe maintaining accountability of my equipment, of my personally identifiable information is paramount, and we can't be lacking in this subject. And here's another one. This private left his ID card out, and so they locked it in epoxy and then bolted it shut. He'll get it back when he figures out how to open it. This soldier decided to leave his weapon unsecured, so they made him carry a stick around everywhere he went with the word M4 taped onto it. And then this soldier, in basic training, this looks to be early 2010s, wanted to leave his rifle unsecured, so now he gets the M16 Plus to carry everywhere he goes. I've done this before with my lieutenant. If lieutenants leave their headgear unsecured, you typically do something with it. What we did was we would take it and shove it down the tank gun tube and then shoot a main gun round and just obliterate it. But this lieutenant got his headgear frozen in a block of ice. You see where I'm going with this? Accountability is important. Every single one of these people who I showed had to do some ridiculous thing. I guarantee you they never messed up again. I guarantee you that private never left his cat card unsecured. I guarantee you weapons accountability was at the forefront of these soldiers' minds after they had to go through that. If we're keeping Amari DiMercato after practice, this is up to the coach. You can either make the players watch or go do it on your own. We're going out to the practice field, and that was a 70-yard run you messed up. Run down there. Make sure you don't drop the ball. Make sure you don't drop it. And when he gets in the end zone 70 yards, come back. Show me that you didn't drop the ball. All right, you still got it. Go do it again. I just want to make sure you don't drop it. And do that about 40 times. Full speed. And then I guarantee you he will never drop a ball on his own regard ever again. If we're going to keep Amari DiMercato and not cut him, you need to demand accountability somehow. The biggest critic is yourself, but you have to show that that's just not going to fly. You don't want the inmates running the asylum, all right? You are the head coach. These are your players. You have to enforce standards. And holding on to the ball is first day stuff. That's peewee football stuff. Don't be letting them do all that just because it looks cool dropping the ball going into the end zone. You have to preach accountability. You have to preach fundamentals. Without fundamentals, you're just a JV squad. Rich Gannon's got to get it together. Finally, Marvin Harrison Jr., he got it going against the Seahawks at the end. He had a good game against the Titans, but it's all for nothing because of the flubs that y'all had on offense and the flubs y'all had on defense. This should have been a blowout game. But you let Cam Ward come back. By the way, no one told me Cam Ward has a freaking howitzer attached to his shoulders. Jesus Christ, he has a crazy arm. The Titans should have had nothing to do with winning that game, but you let him. That was an unacceptable loss. You have to address it right now. Nip it in the bud. Whatever you're going to do, do it. Don't wait until Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Figure out your game plan and execute. You have to do it. Otherwise, you're probably going to be on the hot seat too. Kyler Murray's patience is running thin, and people's patience is running thin with Kyler Murray. You got to figure it out, buddy. I really like when the Cardinals do good. I used to love watching Larry Fitzgerald back in the day. Cardinals are nice. Figure it out. Let's get on to the next question. This might, man, I don't want to be brutal, but should Pete Carroll pull the plug on Geno Smith? He leads the league in interceptions. He's looking like Sam Darnold looked when he was seeing ghosts, and I just don't know what's going on with the guy. Yeah, Brock Bowers was down, but dude, you can't be putting up 6 points against the Colts. That's just not acceptable. He didn't even throw a touchdown last game. Those were both field goals. 228, 35-36, 2 interceptions. We can't be doing all that, man. You got Ashton Genty trying to find his rhythm, but they're going to keep crashing down on him, and he's not going to be able to get open if you don't have a passing game. Like, I get it. Y'all don't have the craziest receiving threats, but they're still able to get open. Jacoby Myers is a good receiver. Brock Bowers, one of the best young tight ends in the league. He's got to get healthy again. I recognize that might be an excuse, but we can't be having excuses. Brock Bowers not playing didn't make Geno Smith throw it to the other team twice. And let's see where he stands in total. Yeah, Geno Smith leads the league with 9 interceptions, 6 touchdowns. Next one up behind him is Jake Browning, who's having a god-awful season, but he's a backup quarterback. Geno Smith was supposed to be the starter. They traded for Kenny Pickett as an emergency break glass, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Kenny Pickett starting soon. He might be getting the nod if Geno Smith can't get it together. If he can't find some type of rapport with his receivers, they might have to make a change. Pete Carroll knows what he's doing, all right? Possibly Hall of Fame coach. A lot of people say he is. Some people say he don't. I would probably give him the nod. You cannot hold Raiders fans hostage, okay? Just because they moved out to Vegas, they still got a very, very large, dedicated fan group over there in California. The Raiders Nation does not tolerate mediocrity. They've had to deal with it a little bit, but they don't tolerate it. Got to figure it out. Geno Smith has got to get something going. Otherwise, hey, we might have to be making some changes. Let's get on to the 5th and final question I have for you. Is the season over for the Bengals, regardless of if they trade for a quarterback or not? It's very clear and very apparent. Jake Browning isn't the answer. I really am not going to give too much credence to what they got going at the end of the Lions game. They were never in that game. To me, those Jamar Chase touchdowns, garbage time touchdowns. Even though they might have got it a little close, they were never going to overcome the defense in any meaningful way. I'm not even going to give them credit for that. Jake Browning isn't the answer. Now, you can trade for Kirk Cousins, but he costs a lot of money. You can trade for Jameis Winston, who I think is the best person to fit in this offense. He's a gunslinger. He'll throw it deep. Jamar Chase desperately wants to run a 40 and catch the ball at the end of it, okay? Or Russell Wilson. Jameis loves football. He has an infectious personality. If they were to trade for Jameis, I guarantee you the next tunnel walkout would be electric. I guarantee you the fans will be standing up. There would not be any boos because they're going to give him some grace. They're going to give him some leniency. Jake Browning is running out of slack, all right? The rope is tight, and they're ready to kick him off the edge. You got to figure it out. You paid for Jamar Chase. You paid for T. Higgins, okay? Just because Joe Burrow's down, you got to have a next man up. If the next man up is not on your team, you got to go get him. You have to go get him. And there's a guy over there in New York. Flip a third, flip a fourth. The season's not over. It's not over. The Browns' ass. The Ravens' season is pretty much sold. You have an opportunity to catch up to the Steelers and maybe make something happen toward the second half of the year. The season is not lost, but you have to execute your plan now. You can't just be writing it off. Can't do that. This league does not tolerate quitters. There has never been a proven instance where a team has tanked ever. A lot of people say it might have happened. A lot of people might have insinuated that some players didn't try their hardest, but there has never been a fundamental decision that we walked in the locker room and said, all right, guys, let's get out there and make sure we lose this game. See y'all when the game's over. That's never happened. And I don't believe that Bengals fans actually want to tank. Who cares about your draft pick? Glory is what matters. And Jake Browning does not bring you glory. Now, Jameis Winston throwing a 70-yard bomb to Jamar Chase will bring some glory. Or throwing a 20-yard high-point dart to T. Higgins. Or catching Chase Brown on a screen. Throwing a couple interceptions. But you take it how you get it. You feel what I'm saying? You got to figure something out, man. I recognize that when Joe went down, a lot of Bengals fans just wrote the season off. Hey, all right, we'll get y'all. We'll see y'all next year. No. Find someone to coast to get you in striking distance of the playoffs. Joe Burrow is going to come back, and he's going to come back with a vengeance, come back with blood on his mind, okay? Let's get something going. Let's establish our offense. And that way our defense isn't playing from behind every game. Because Trey Hendrickson, He's only on a 1-year deal. You just kick that can down the road a little bit. Anyways, those have been 5 questions that I have for you after week 5. Week 6, I bet I'll have 6 questions. It wouldn't surprise me if in week 7 I had 7 questions. Just saying. I would love to hear your answer to these questions down below. Let me know if I was off base with anything. Let me know if you agreed with anything I said. Let me know if you might have another idea on how to handle something. I kind of went off the rails with the Maye Mercado and the Cardinals. Maybe they should just trade for a running back. Who knows? I'm not an NFL GM yet. Anyways, you are loved. You matter. If anyone hasn't told you that in a long time, I'm telling you that now. And if you don't feel like it, hit me up. I try to respond to all DMs. I try to respond to most comments. This is what I do. I love football. All right. This is my passion project. Not in it for the money, not in it for the fame. I'm in it because I love the sport and I love spreading joy about it. And I love y'all for watching. Y'all take care.
I got.
Winning has always been in his DNA.
Loyalty got royalty inside my DNA. Cocaine quarter piece got war and peace inside my DNA.